Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the UHC NFL podcast, week 3. Before we start, I just want to say congrats to the Tampa Bay Lightning for winning the Stanley Cup in Game 6. Um, Gotta say, good time to be a Tampa Bay fan, if you take a look at it. I mean,
Hey, 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 this is NFL.
I know, just saying. You got the Tampa Bay Lightning win the Stanley Cup, Tampa Bay Rays, number 1 in the AL, and you got the Brady Buccaneers looking a little better now. But yes, we are here with the UHC NFL podcast today. I am Reggie Float, and I'm an Eagles fan.
I'm Frost with the Lions. I won a game.
I am BBR and undefeated.
Shut up. Shut up. Don't fucking remind me. You should be 2-1 right now, third in the division.
You
Don't
should be
remind
0
me.
you should be 0 and 3.
Probably 0-3.
All right, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. I think this is the number one thing we got to start with. Well, is there anything? I'm gonna give a little bit of news here, which is that the couple of the players in the Tennessee Titans, I know the long snapper, defensive tackle, or end, and one more person, as well as some of the personnel and staff, have ended up positive with COVID. Minnesota's currently being tested.
COVID.
Obviously, Tennessee's being tested, as well as the announcers who were at the game are being tested. So, what this basically comes down to is Tennessee can play Pittsburgh this week. Maybe not. Maybe they'll wait till Monday. Maybe they'll wait till Tuesday. Maybe they'll. I don't know what they're gonna do. Um, it does look like there's going to be some kind of delay, though, because Tennessee is not going to be able to get back into their place until Saturday, pretty much.
So actually, I was watching Pat McAfee, and he brought up a good point. So, how they would have to do it is, and they're already seeing this as a possible solution. Have since they won't be able to do it this week, uh count this as Tennessee and Pittsburgh's bye week instead of being week 7, and then week 7, uh, they verse each other, and then
Dude,
push back the week 7 game into week 8.
Wait,
okay.
they both have the same bye week?
No, they would give them the same bye week.
Well, that would mess up another team who they're scheduled to play in week 7. That's why it's a whole mess.
No, that's why they're gonna push back. They'll push it back. And
Well,
then give,
okay, if
and
you
then give
push back
Baltimore week
one
7.
team's bye week, that affects the team they were supposed to play, is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
that's Baltimore. And Baltimore's bye week is week 7.
They'll
Okay,
they'll
that
figure it
works
out.
out then.
They'll figure it out. It's gonna hurt my brain trying to figure this shit out. Um, Super big player movement news. Saints, former Ravens safety Earl Thomas, who is not very popular in the league right now, went down to Houston, thought he was going to join up, then didn't because of something related to COVID, as I am seeing from Schefter. It's just something to keep an eye on there. He's a big player. So, let's take a look. You know how we do it by now, game by game. I just want to, before we go into game by game, I just want to point out how bad the NFC East is. I knew it sucked last year, but if not for the Zerloin onside kick gaff by Atlanta, the only win in the division would be a divisional win. So it's pretty bad. The teams suck. 0 and 3, 0 2 and 1, 1 2, 1 2. So this division sucks fucking ass.
Imagine,
That's all I've got
imagine
to
a,
say.
all I gotta say is imagine a universe where all the division would be 0-3 except for the Washington football team and they're leading division by 1-2. Imagine a future in that.
I
Imagine
mean,
that.
it's
Instead. That'd be
it was very
amazing.
possible. If not for Zorloin's kick, the Eagles would be in second place right now with a tie, with an 0 2 and 1 record. All right, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. So let's talk about Thursday night Dolphins at the Jaguars. Now, here's the thing with this
Oh,
game: Jacksonville had fans. Not only did Jacksonville have fans, people believed in Minshew Mania. Beat the Colts, almost beat the Titans. Dolphins win 31 to 13. It's not tour time yet. Fitzmagic pulls it off. Fitzmagic was looking pretty good out there. 18 for 20, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. Minshew, on the other hand, 30 for 42, 275 yards, 1 interception. Just an overall good game for the Dolphins. It was never even close. It's never even really close. So the Dolphins pull off a nice win, 31 to 13. Beat the odds. Jacksonville was favored by 2.5. There'll be quite a few teams this week who beat the odds. I'm going to start off by saying I had Jacksonville with like 9 or 10 in my confidence picks. I was sure they're going to win. I believed in the Minshew Mania, and man, did they underperform.
yeah. How do you think I feel? I started Minshew in my fucking in the fantasy league. He got me 9 points.
Uh, the one time you finally start Minshew.
Yeah. Guess what? Guess what? He's back.
Hey, at least you won.
Yeah, I won because Alvin Kamara got me 44 points. That's the only reason why I won.
Sometimes it happens that way. You weren't gonna win off of Minshew anyway.
That's why Deshaun Watson's back. Anyway, the game was interesting. Don't judge me.
I didn't watch most of it. I listened to some of it on my way home from work. Thursday night's an awkward spot for me. I watched some of, or I listened to some of it. And man, Fitzpatrick, I keep calling him Fitzmagic by instinct. Fitzpatrick was on fire in the beginning. He had like 13 straight completions or something, I think.
Well, I literally was out with my friends. I'm like, oh, let's look at the game. Down by 30 points. I'm down by 20-something points at half. I'm like, God damn it, Minshew. Throws a pick. God damn it, there goes my points.
Yeah, it was halftime score was 21-7, so it really wasn't looking that great. Dolphins scored at least something in all 4 quarters. So, BBR, what do you think about this game?
I mean, two bad teams. I don't think we should look too far into it. Neither of these teams are really going anywhere this year. Fitzmagic's just gonna be Tragic in like 3 weeks, so it's nice to see now, but
it's gonna be 2 a time at some point.
We all know where this is going.
We all know 2 is coming. Right. I gotta say the lead up to this game was fun because
they hyped the shit out of it.
Because you had Minshew with the mustache and Fitzpatrick with the beard, and they were just quipping back and forth about it.
And we'll get into this a little later, but they really needed to hype this week's Thursday game because it needed it a lot more.
Oh yeah,
we'll touch on that later though.
We'll come around to that. Thursday night games so far, not super interesting games. I don't think. What was week 2's Thursday night? That was the Bengals and the Browns. That's probably the best one so far.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
It was a close one, 30-35. All right. I've definitely got the order wrong because it puts Eagles up first. But speaking of the Bengals, let's just get it. Let's just get it over with. All right. Bengals Eagles tie in overtime, 23-23. We've already got a tie in the game. Man, was I disappointed. Carson Wentz was 29 for 47 with 225 yards, 1 touchdown, and he also had a rushing touchdown. It's important to bring up because I didn't think he was going to get it when he was running for it. Joe Burrow, 31 for 44, 312 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no ins. Dude still passes like a maniac. He took a lot of hits. Definitely took a lot of hits. Got sacked. Got a couple of arguably dirty hits, but, you know, that happens. It was looking really like Eagles were outperforming on the run game. Miles Sanders had 18 carries for 95 yards. No fucking idea why they abandoned the run game, by the way. When you got Miles Sanders active, you got Boston Scott active, and it was working. I'm just going to say this right now. Doug Peterson, what the fuck are you doing? I didn't like Doug this game. I like Carson this game. Even with the ints, I still liked him this game. Doug, what the fuck, man? I got a new problem every week. Week 1 was the offensive line. Week 2 it was Carson. Now it's Doug. Meanwhile, Joe Mixon was just held to 17 carries to just 49 yards. Boyd, though, had 10 receptions for 125 yards. Scoreless first quarter. Eagles led 13-10 at some point. And what it all came down to, Carson Wentz run to tie to get to overtime. Eagles, about 20 seconds left, going to kick a 59-yarder. Matt Pryor, nice young offensive guard, comes in and false start, setting it to 64, and Eagles decide to punt for the tie. Man, was I disappointed with that game. I've always called Peterson one of the most aggressive coaches in the NFL, but that was just a decision I did not agree with, and he also called it back when he was on with Cataldi in the morning show yesterday morning. He agreed. He probably dropped something. Probably made a mistake there. So, I want to know an outsider's perspective what you guys thought of that game, because I am hot about this.
You tied with the Bengals.
all right. And you tied with the 2019 Arizona Cardinals week 1. Can you chill out a second?
2019. This is 2019. This is 2020. The Lions have a new fresh start. We just beat the Arizona Cardinals. We'll go over that when we get to it. But honestly, I just watched the highlights of this game because I was in the middle of, I think, of a round or something before this game started. But for what I saw, I thought the Eagles were gonna win. But then, that's I thought you guys were gonna actually, be second in the division.
Even that Cowboys fan, who was it, Tony?
Yeah, Tony.
Even Tony said Eagles are gonna win this in overtime, and
yeah,
they didn't lose.
You didn't lose.
They didn't win.
All I gotta say is at least you're not last in the division.
Yeah, we're not the Giants. Sorry,
Yeah.
Connor.
Connor, can't wait. They're gonna go. I'm telling you right now. They're gonna be at 3-13 again.
No, they won't, because they tied.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking.
Oh, some of the Giants.
Oh, the Giants.
Yeah, it's the Eagles. That boat has sailed.
Yeah, Eagles are going. Oh, they're getting 3-12-1. 3-12-1.
Still better than 3-13.
Yeah, it is. We saw that last year.
Yeah.
That's how Washington got Chase Young.
Yeah.
Over the
Lions. Don't fucking remind me. Could have had Chase Young instead of Jeff Okuda. All right, go ahead. VVR, you got anything to say about this game? I don't really.
I think Cincinnati played to their ability, and the Eagles just played down to Cincinnati. It was rough at times.
I think if the Eagles didn't abandon the run game, they would have won that game because Sanders was looking hot, as he normally does so far. Love Miles Sanders.
Hurt losing Goddard.
Yeah, it didn't hurt. It didn't help. Couple injuries there. We've known in the past we've lost Brandon Brooks. Deshaun Jackson has I forget what it is. Jason Peters has a lower body pain. Dallas Goedert, we now know, has a fractured ankle. Don't know how long he's going to be out.
He's not out for the season yet. So that's positive.
Yet. Tight ends are historically tough, so we'll see how that turns out. And then we know Regi is out for a little bit with a thumb ligament injury. So here's our receivers right now. We got Zach Ertz, and he looked better this time. Still not great, but better. And then we got Greg Ward, who I love as a receiver. I love Greg Ward. And then we got John Hightower and the recently activated Quez Watkins. And they're both rookies. It's like 5th and 6th round picks. And Miles Sanders. I'm not wild about our receiving. I'm not wild. We can't do what we did last year every year. We can't just keep pulling up miracle players like Boston Scott and Greg Ward off the practice squad that turn out to be better than what we had at receivers to begin with. It's just not gonna keep happening. But
all you gotta say is at least you don't have Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah, people way overhype that. Nelson Aguilar. I talked about this last week, but Nelson Aguilar is 2-0. Nelson Aguilar had 2 catches, and one of them happened to be a touchdown. Everyone lost their fucking minds. He's not even number 1 on the depth chart. Let's chill on Nelson Aguilar. He sucks. The dude sucks, alright? He's inconsistent. He's totally inconsistent. I'm getting off track. Any closing thoughts on this tie?
It was a tie.
It doesn't look good for the Eagles with the next
Eagles. Yep. All I gotta say is the Lions have a better record than the Eagles now. It's feeling real good in Detroit.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Never thought I'd ever say that, but.
All right, well, we got a fun one to talk about now. Bears at the Falcons.
Oh my God.
This was the only game where a 2-0 team was playing an 0-2 team, and the 0-2 team was favored. And it looked like they were going to be proven right for a long time.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let BBR handle this one, but we're looking at going into the 4th quarter. Falcons were up 26-10, and the Bears with Big Dick Nick ran in there and scored 20 unanswered points and won the game.
It's like they should have started him off the start.
I'll give you a quick stat here. Nick Foles, 16 for 29, 188 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 int. Matt Ryan, 19 for 38, 238 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 int. Todd Gurley looked pretty good this game, 14 carries, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Leading rushing yards in Chicago, Mitch Trubisky, 1 carry for 45 yards. Allen Robertson also looked great, 10 receptions, 123 yards, 1 touchdown. BBR, our Bears friend, why don't you tell me what's so special about this game?
All right, I got a couple talking points. Gurley did look good because Chicago run defense is absolutely shit right now with your normal nose tackle Eddie Goldman opting out of the season. So that's kind of an excuse for why every running back is looking incredible against us, including Adrian Peterson.
Oh, yeah, he was looking
I forgot about that.
He was destroying your defense. Like, what the hell's going on?
Well, okay, so first half of this game, Mitchell Trubisky started the game, and he didn't look terrible. He was missing his usual throws, so that's why I said didn't look terrible. He was looking himself. And then he threw one awful pick, like not even seeing the defender. Like I can't even say the defender jumped the route because he was already in the route, and he just kind of like threw it right into the defender. And from that point forward, it was a game for Nick Foles. And did he ever throw the ball? I can't say it was as much a Bears win as it was a Falcons loss. A lot of things had to go wrong for the Bears to win that.
Can I say a percentage?
Including, I believe it was 3 straight drives from the Falcons that lasted less than a minute and a half, including their second to last drive when they're down, 4 points? No, I'm sorry, they still had the lead. It was 26-23. They did not run the ball once to kill clock. There were like 5 minutes on the clock. Not one run play. 3 incompletions.
Can I say a percentage real quickly?
You sure
The Falcons had a 99.3% chance of winning this game. And look what happens. That is a percentage I just want you to think about.
I mean,
at some point in the game they did have that.
it's rough. The play calling was atrocious, especially with Todd Gurley averaging such a high yard per carry. To not run the ball in a killing clock situation. This is textbook. I almost said Eagles. Wrong bird team that failed. Textbook Falcons failure.
It really is.
Yo, 28-3 is looking a lot better every single week now.
No, it's really not.
No, it's not. 28-3 isn't looking better. 28-3 is looking like your standard.
Yeah, kind of.
It's your week-to-week standard with the Atlanta Falcons. You're pulling off a lead and then blowing it. Well, I don't know if they did it with the Seahawks, but with the Cowboys and the Bears, it certainly was.
I will close this with one final thought. It is finally, and we'll get to it later when we preview the game, it is finally the first real test that the Bears will have facing the Colts.
Yeah, we'll get into that one for sure. Let's talk about what I thought was a really fun game, although because I'm not a fan of either team. The Rams and the Bills. I'm just going to address real quick. I did mention the Falcons were favored. The Falcons were favored by 2.5 as a home team.
People need to stop doing that. Because, go ahead.
Rams and the Bills. Bills were favored as a home team with by 2. And that game, for a game with 2 great defenses, the over-under was 47. I'm surprised it blew the over-under out by so much. I mean, that's 67 combined points. I mean, you blew it out by 20. And that's just kind of incredible to me. Both teams' offenses obviously scored quite a lot. Goff was 23. I can speak, I swear to God. 23 for 32, 321 yards. 2 touchdowns, 1 in. Josh Allen, 24 for 33, 311 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 in. So, pretty similar, except for the touchdown count, obviously. I don't have much to point out about this. The Bills were leading, actually, 21-3 at halftime. And then they scored 7, Rams scored 14. Rams scored 15 to take the lead, and the Bills managed to get a touchdown with 15 seconds on the fucking clock and win the game. So they came back. The Rams came back and then let the Bills come back again. For comparison there, the Rams touchdown that put them in the lead was with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. And the Bills' touchdown was with 15 seconds left. So that's how long they had to really get it. Now, this was... it's a tough loss for a Rams team, and it's a dangerous win for a Bills team that was favored and was leading for so long. So for both these teams with very good defenses, both these defenses got lit up a lot. And if I'm a Bills fan, I mean, I said this last week, and I'm going to say it again, and I got told I was wrong, or at least I got corrected. I'd be worried with this Bills team because it is showing that the defense, which should be stronger, or should be one of your strongest assets, is not holding up well. And that's all I got to say about it.
It was a fun game, but it was a fun game to watch. Kind of surprised that Josh Allen is actually able to step up and make finally able to pull some stuff off. But
I,
yeah, like you said,
I will say in Josh Allen's favor, or in the Bills' favor, that Josh Allen has been looking a lot better this season.
oh yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting coming up soon because I'm pretty sure they verse the Patriots here soon. That it's that I think will be the defining game for them at least.
That was a fun game. I mean, like I did correct you last week. Have faith in them. Obviously, I mean, I guess the Rams were 2-0, but they're 2 wins coming against NFC East teams. So take that as you will. I don't know. It was a little closer than I'm sure some of the Bills fans hope.
Well, especially because
He
at
came
one
out
point
with a win.
the Bills were leading by 25.
Yeah, but I mean, you know the Rams have some weapons.
The Rams have a lot.
That they
lot.
do.
Their wide receivers are like very good.
They sure have weapons. All right, let's move on. The Washington football team at the Cleveland Browns. This looked back and forth for a little bit. Browns were favored by 7. It was one of the highest favors of this game. They were of this week. They were at 9% capacity, which means they had a little bit of an advantage there. It was an extremely back and forth game to the point where the Washington football team only scored in the first and third, and the Browns only scored in the second and fourth. And for what it's worth, the Browns scored 17 in both of those quarters. So it was definitely a very back and forth momentum-wise game. The Washington football team was in the lead to begin with, but never really felt like they were kind of. They kind of did in the third quarter, but I mean they just got blown out in the fourth quarter. Dwayne Haskins, 21 for 37, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3, not 1, not 2, 3 interceptions. Baker Mayfield, 16 for 23, 156 yards, 2 touchdowns. Listen, the strong point of this Cleveland team, as much as everyone hyped, well, I think I understand this, but as much as it was hyped with the OBJ and Landry receiving combination, the Browns rushing game is insane. Nick Chubb, 19 carries for 108 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt, 16 carries for 46 yards. Very much the number 2, but still very reliable for a number 2. And the fact that they scored 34 points with Baker Mayfield only getting 156 yards in the air is just... I think it speaks a lot about how this Cleveland team, if it's good, it's going to be good off of its running game. And it's going to come down to how good opposing run defenses are. Because this is the second game in a row where Cleveland has scored over 30 points against teams that... Well, Washington actually has a better front than obviously than Cincinnati, but against teams that definitely struggle with giving up points. So I think this was an expected outcome, and I think it just goes to show how much better I think the Browns are looking than I thought they were. Go ahead and put your input on that one.
Yeah, the Browns are playing. They've made a good bounce back from the last from the week 1. Really good bounce back. The true challenge is going to be next week against Dallas.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one for Cleveland. I will say as well, this is a fun fact. The Cleveland Browns are now above 500 for the first time at any point in any season since I think it was 2014 or 2015.
That's the Cleveland Browns for you.
That is the Cleveland Browns. BBR, what's your thoughts?
The only thing I have to echo is what you were saying. Absolutely fantastic run game. Nick Chubb, 5.7 yards per carry. Absolutely great.
I think I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I think this might be one of the best running back cores in the league. I can't think of any other running back that's on Nick Chubb's level that has a running back 2 also at Kareem Hunt's level.
A healthy 49ers is
true.
Backfield.
Healthy is the big word there.
The Lions team that can play up to their potential.
Also true. That's another big if.
Unproven there though.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this one to
Kerryon and
Swift?
Adrian Peterson.
Oh.
No, Kerryon Johnson with Adrian Peterson. Yeah, but they're too much utilizing Peterson. But also Kerryon's also been sucking this year compared to last year. So.
All right. This was a fun one. Tennessee Titans at the Minnesota Vikings. If I didn't say it, the Browns won 34-20. Titans were favored by 2.5 as a road team coming in. They were a 2-0 team going to an 0-2 team. Titans win 31-30, and Gostkowski, making up for that Denver game in the beginning of the year, gets 6 field goals. And the Titans win 31-30. Listen, Kirk Cousins, 16 for 27, 251 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 in. Ryan Tannehill, 23 for 37 yards, 321 yards, 1 interception, no touchdowns for Ryan Tannehill. Just throw that out there. I love Ryan Tannehill. But this was a high field goal game. I mean, 6 field goals. That's 18 points out of field goals alone. Derrick Henry had 2 rushing touchdowns, 26 carries for 119 yards. Great game for him. Over on the Minnesota side, Dalvin Cook had 22 carries for 181 yards and 1 touchdown. I mean, talk about amazing yards per carry. I'm not sure off the top of my head what that is, but
8.2.
8.2. I mean,
that wasn't off the top of my head for the record.
Okay, you had that one ready.
I do have that.
Other good things. Minnesota. Good thing for Minnesota, I think, is rookie Justin Jefferson had 7 receptions for 175 yards and a touchdown. I know the Eagles picked Regi over Jefferson, and I supported it. And I'm not ready to throw it out the window yet. All right, it's week 3. Calm down. Regi's hurt. But man, Jefferson looked good this game. Just with that. On the other hand, the Vikings, of course, did lose. So let's break this down real quick. Like I said, Gostkowski had 6 field goals, and going into the third quarter. In the third quarter, each team scored 6. Fourth quarter. So third quarter, you're going into this. The Titans are still up 25-20. 25-24. So this really just. And they didn't go back because of a touchdown. They came back because they kicked 2 field goals. And it just wasn't. I mean, the fact that the Vikings looked like they were going to end up winning this game, and then they end up losing. I mean, I cannot believe. And again, this is a position where BBR tried to correct me a little bit while we were preparing in the preseason, and I thought the Vikings were going to be so great. I cannot believe how wrong I was on the Vikings. I mean, I really can't. I mean, the Packers are a good team. The Colts, I didn't think were going to be as good as they were. I just can't believe how wrong I was about the Vikings. Let's get some input from the NFC North people. I guess Frost muted, so BBR did.
You'd love to see them 0-3, but you also can't fault them for facing some pretty tough competition.
They definitely
pretty much
have.
Almost a guaranteed 3 set of playoff teams that they played: the Packers, Colts, and Titans. So I mean, you can't count them out yet, but they certainly have a hill to climb. There haven't been many teams in history that have started off 0-3 and made the playoffs. Granted, there are expanded playoffs this year, so it is entirely more possible.
7 seed.
I will say it is feeling good not being the last in the division for once. I'm usually down the bottom feeder. It feels very good, but my schedule for the Lions we don't line up, and then let me look at the Vikings real quickly. Vikings don't look like they get any breaks either, though. I mean, they have the Texans this week, and then they have Seattle the week after. Then they have the Falcons.
I mean,
it ain't
look at
looking
their whole schedule.
Their whole schedule. It doesn't look like they get any breaks.
I mean, especially for a second place schedule, like that's a rough one.
Yeah.
Because remember, Seattle was second place.
Looks like they have like the Jags and like that's it. Like honestly,
Seattle was second place and Dallas was second place.
Not to mention the NFC North plays the South, so they have the Saints, the Bucks.
Yeah, they got the whole division. And as much as we all like to harp on the Falcons, you gotta respect how good that offense is.
They have like the Panthers and the Jags. That's the only light ones I would say in their schedule.
And the Panthers are looking not bad. Not as bad as I expected them to.
We're Minshew mania though.
If you're a Vikings fan, I agree with BBR with the expanded division, expanded playoffs. I think there's still a faint hope. But I mean, this is a rough one. Certainly, you're over there, jumping and clapping at the destruction of the NFC East, because that's gonna be less competition for a wild card. But still, you gotta be looking for a silver lining here. I mean, at this point,
the Lions may make it for once.
We might see it.
It's a long stretch. It's a long stretch, but maybe.
We'll see, because at this point, it's looking like the West is gonna send 3.
Yeah, I mean,
It's hard to
very
tell
good
though
teams.
because
Honestly, with the 7th seed, those teams are looking so good. And I'm expecting the Bears to kind of fall off a little bit. If the Buccaneers don't keep up their pattern, I wouldn't. If there's any division that was going to send 4, all right, it would be the West, because all of those teams are looking very good.
I will put my mouth full when we get to my game.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Don't worry.
Okay,
Um,
let's move on.
Las Vegas Raiders versus the New England Patriots. No dealing with the New Orleans Saints this time, and we'll get there. I'll read a Jacko statement when we get there. Raiders were favored. Sorry, no, they weren't. Patriots were favored by 7.
So you sure about that one, Chief?
Yeah, the Patriots now 2-1, won 36-20. So now 2-1, Las Vegas Raiders. And both sides. Cam Newton 17 for 28, 162 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 int. Derek Carr 24 for 36, 261 yards, 2 touchdowns, no ints. I think the craziest one over here is Sony Michel. If I'm saying that right, 9 carries for 117 yards. I'm not sure what it is, but I know it's over 10 yards per carry, and that's crazy for rushing. So he looked phenomenal. There was no point in this game where it looked like the Raiders were like winning. In the first half, they went into halftime up, or the Patriots were up 13-10. But then the Patriots came out, blew them out in the third quarter, and definitely kept more than pace with them in the fourth quarter. We're not allowing any comebacks at all. So they just, I didn't think this was going to be that close. This is kind of what I expected out of the Saints game last week with the Raiders, and it's pretty much what I expected out of that. So New England holds a 7-point favorite, and they certainly keep that. So that's all I gotta say on it. Cam Newton's looking good.
New England's looking. Everyone wrote New England off in the beginning of this year. They're looking a lot like a playoff team, maybe even capturing the division.
This is a playoff team through and through.
I mean, I'd like to respond to Frost here. They wrote him off before Cam Newton was signed, and then when he was signed, they wrote him off because they weren't sure how he was going to play after injury. People are kind of forgetting that defense is really good, and Bill Belichick can fucking coach. That's the biggest thing here. He can coach whatever's thrown at him, and power to him.
Cam Newton's look great. You're right. Bill's been a phenomenal coach. And when you're putting up the points that you are, and you're doing as well as you are against teams like Seattle, and you're blowing out teams you're supposed to, like Las Vegas. This is phenomenal. This has been a phenomenal start to the New England. If I'm a New England fan, I don't even give a shit about that Seahawks loss, even though it was the 1-yard run that didn't get it, because you still did phenomenal, and it's against one of the best teams in the league. So I think this Patriots team is showing that it is here to stay. They're not going anywhere without a fight. Anyone else have any more thoughts to share on that one?
Nope.
All right, let's go on to a game I enjoyed very much. San Francisco 49ers at the New York Giants. The 49ers were only favored by 3 going in this game. Can you believe that? By the way, fun fact, scoregami. This is the first 36-9 in history. I think it was the 1,065th unique score in the now 101 seasons of the NFL. I'm always excited. I remember last year there was a Niners-Saints game that ended 48-46. That was scoregami. I'm always excited when a scoregami comes around because it's so rare nowadays. Now that we're actually keeping track of it.
And it only gets rarer.
It only gets rarer. This one can't happen again. They picked up, who did they pick up? I forget his name. Devonta Freeman. Was he active this game?
He did play, yeah.
All right, well, here's a fun fact
Only
for
5 carries for 10 yards, though.
Yeah, because who's leading the rushing yards? But one, Daniel Jones for 5 carries and 49 yards. Niners won this game 36-9. Daniel Jones was 17 for 32, 1 in. Nick Mullins actually looked really good as a backup there. 25 for 36, 343 yards, 1 touchdown, no win. Definitely comes off a little bit of their rushing. 14 carries for 38 yards and 1 touchdown. I had that guy on fantasy, and he looked good. New young receiver Brandon Ayuk looked pretty good. 5 receptions for 70 yards. And that's pretty much it. There was no point at any point in the game where the Giants looked like they were in the game. Going into halftime, the 49ers were up 16-6, and it just got worse from there. There was no point where it looked like the Giants were in the game. There were no touchdowns for the Giants. There were just 3 field goals, and that's it. That's all I gotta say. I mean, there was no point where this game was even really in question. So I understood the drop to 3-point favorites because of all the injuries, but San Francisco definitely blew this team out of the water and are not nearly as dead as I assumed they would be. Chime in on that one.
Uh, I mean, Nick Mullins was playing what 2 years ago when Garoppolo went out. So I mean, he's serviceable, like as a backup. He did pretty well this game, but
Did very well this game.
if they want, once they start versing, a tougher team than a high school JV team like the Giants, it's gonna show. I'm gonna look see what they verse next. If you want to chime in for a second, if you want any opinions, BBR.
Yeah, I would just like to call out. You got to get healthy. That team is so injury plagued. They're missing Kittle, Garoppolo. They're on their third string running back, who also exited the game with an injury, temporary though, just a bruised rib. But like, still, like, oh my god, get healthy, man.
They have the Eagles this week, so that's pretty light for them.
And you got
For Sunday night,
just to,
and then
just
they
to
got
chime in on the injuries on that monster defense. You got Nick Bosa out for the year on a torn ACL. Solomon Thomas out for the year. I think also on ACL, something similar. Uh, Defensive line is not looking like it can hold up to teams that you're gonna have to beat if you get into the playoffs. And some of these guys you're not getting back. Torn ACL, you don't come back from that in a season. You can't come back from that. So it is going to be rough. It's going to be very rough.
all I gotta say is the 49ers, they're on their light part of their schedule right now. They better hope to God they get some people back. They got They have Eagles this week, which is I don't know who's gonna win.
I do. I know who's going to win that game.
Yeah. Dolphins, Dolphins aren't gonna be easy. They got the Rams, the Patriots, Seahawks, Packers, Saints. They get the Rams again. Then they have the
Yeah.
Bills. They don't get another break until Washington, basically.
This is going to be a tough one for them.
They have a tough stretch, and then they end off with the Seahawks and the Cardinals. So they need to get these people back. They need Garoppolo back. They need this. They need that. It ain't gonna look too good if they start losing all these really good against all these really good teams.
All right.
They could drop off playoff contention very easily.
Let's take a look at the Houston Texans at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh was favored by 4. They ended up winning 28-21. Man, this game. I mean, man, this game. Roethlisberger's been looking phenomenal since he came back. 23 for 36, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns. Deshaun Watson looked also okay, 19 for 27, 264, 2 touchdown, 1 inch. Rushing did not look great for Houston, but for Pittsburgh, Connor, James Conner, I had to figure his first name, 18 carry, 109 yards, 1 touchdown. So that looked pretty good. Now, what was funny about this game is that at some point the Texans were leading. And fucking shit, man. Dropped my phone. The Texans going into halftime were up 21-17. Then they were up 21-20, and well, actually, they got blown out in the second half. The Steelers scored 11 unanswered points in the second half. 3 with a field goal, and then 1 with a touchdown, with a 2-point conversion successful attempt, and pretty much ended it. Steelers 3-0, looking pretty good. Houston 0-3 with one of definitely the toughest starting schedule of any team in the NFL.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
and they really suffered for it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the trade to get rid of Hopkins, obviously, this is gonna happen. But man, did they just not? They had no pity in their first 3 weeks, and it was, oh my god. And you know what? I give them credit. They were doing pretty well. They were staying with it. But got blown out in the second half. I mean, it's just rough, and it's great defense. I don't have much to say about it, except for I now think that I am 100% certain the Houston Texans are not making it to the postseason. I'm going to say that now, week 3.
I can agree with that. Their schedule doesn't really lighten up at all. Like they still have to versus Green Bay, the Colts twice,
Tennessee
and
twice.
the Tennessee twice, and the Patriots still. I mean, they have a couple lighter games, but they're 0-3. They had to at least win one of these games to have a good chance of winning. I mean, right now, their division, it looks like the Titans and the Colts are going to be their playoff teams. Houston, I think, will be. I think the Houston will be better than Jags, but that's about it.
I mean, the question at this point is, do they retain Bill O'Brien? I mean, that's up to the ownership group. He is his own GM, so he can't fire himself. I mean, I guess he could, but that'd be a power move.
I mean, how much involvement can the owner have in getting rid of him?
All of it.
All of it. They can say, "Hey, get the fuck out of here."
Good. Then, if the Houston Texans want to succeed, they got to get rid of that fucking guy. I mean, they really got. I mean, I get it if you really don't want to pay him that, but Jesus Christ, you can get better shit for him than a third and a fifth. We're not gonna get into it. Yeah, I agree. Bill O'Brien's got to go. I mean, you are wasting one of the best quarterbacks of this generation of quarterbacks. I mean, obviously, everyone's going to be talking about Mahomes and Lamar, but of this generation, I mean, you got to look at Deshaun Watson and realize just how phenomenal he is. The escapability, the mobility, the arm, he is phenomenal, and you are wasting this guy's career.
I mean, they did extend him at the very least.
Still, like, he's not going to have a whole lot of success with his team, unless they make some serious changes. That's all I got. Let's take a look at the Jets and the Colts. Another blowout.
I don't think very much needs to be said about this.
We'll do some basics. Colts were favored by 11.5. It was the biggest favorite of the week. They won 36-7. Darnold had 3 picks. Phillip Rivers had none. 17 for 21, 217 yards, one touchdown. That's all I got. Again, no point where the Jets feel like they're in play. They got 1 touchdown in the first quarter, and then they got outscored. How much is this? 29-0 in the second, third, and fourth quarter. So the Jets just suck. I mean, we know that they suck. No one's gonna contest that.
I mean, when all I gotta say is I feel bad for New York. You have 3 teams in the state of New York, and 2 of the 3 teams are sucking monkey dick right now, like horrible. So, yeah.
I will say I love pointing this out when it happens. 2 of Indiana's 2 of the Colts points was from a safety. Sam Darnold got sacked in the end zone. I love pointing it out when they got a safety because I love safeties because no one ever expects them. Yeah, not much to talk about this team. Jets gonna be probably one of the worst teams in the league. Colts
unless they steal one from the Dolphins, I don't think they win the game.
0-16, baby. Welcome to the club, Jets. Welcome to the club.
I can only see them possibly beating like the Dolphins. I don't see them doing well at all. They're terrible. Moving on. Panthers at the Chargers. Chargers were favored by 6 points. This is the largest favored team to lose a game. Carolina won 21-16. Finally getting a win in the books there. Chargers, Justin Herbert looked 35 for 49, 330 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 in. Teddy Bridgewater, on the other hand, a little more conservative with his passing, 222 for 28, 235 yards, 1 touchdown. I'm sure what everyone's going to be talking about is the failed lateral at the end, where it looked like the Chargers may have been able to slide in there. But he dropped the lateral. That was unfortunate. And they do have to do that, of course, because they failed a 2-point conversion attempt on their touchdown before that would have allowed them to be down 21-18 and then kick a field goal. So it looked like they were going to come back. Carolina, I think a well-earned win. I think even discarding the failed lateral and 2-pointer, I still think this was a good, a well-earned win for them. I still don't think this team is going to be a very competitive team, but they're certainly proving to be a little better than I initially thought they were going to be. Certainly Teddy Bridgewater has. That's all I have on this.
Panthers look better. Honestly, coming off of last week where Herbert was going against Mahomes.
And looking fantastic.
It looked fantastic going to this game. Everyone probably thought it was going to be a blowout, kind of. But Panthers held their own.
Chargers were favored by 6.
Yeah, so They got some Chargers guy, look back on themselves and hopefully they can come back and make give some competition to the Chiefs instead of just having them blow out their division.
Yeah,
The biggest stories are absolutely the Panthers performing decent without one Christian McCaffrey, and the Chargers fumbling 4 times, losing 3 of them. That was definitely the big key in that game.
That's definitely a rough one. I mean, when you fumble, when you turn the ball over, it's always bad. But when you turn the ball over that much in a game that ends up being that close, and you're right, that's going to be the big one. Because I put the focus on the failed 2-point conversion, the failed lateral, but that is the big one. That puts you in that situation when you lose 3 fumbles. I mean, that's
not to mention they threw a pick, so they were -4 on the turnover differential.
Yeah, it's rough, man. It was a rough game for LA, and a sure game they were very hopeful in. Yes, that's a heart killer. Not as bad as, hey, good segue, the Denver Broncos. Man, have their hearts been getting killed. Tampa Bay won this game 28-10 in Denver in Mile High. Tampa Bay was favored by 6 points, and man, did they win that. And Denver even had 7% capacity of fans. At no point did Denver really seem like they're competing. The only 10 points they only scored in the second quarter. And it was just kind of, they had, obviously we don't have Sutton, you don't have Locke, you don't have Von Miller, you don't have I think Philip Lindsay, so you don't have a lot of these people on this team. Jeff Driscoll, good old Jeff Driscoll from Frost-Sold Lions team, 17 for 30, 176 yards, a touchdown, and Melvin Gordon didn't look hot this game, 8 carries for only 26 yards. Tom Brady, on the other hand, 25 for 38, 297 yards, 3 touchdowns, no ends. He looked pretty great this game, gotta say. Yeah, no point did the Broncos feel like they were really in this game. It never looked like they were going to be able to come back. It was pretty much just... And hey, another safety, look at that. Wow, you seen a couple of them here. Shaquille Barrett gets the safety in the end, or in the third quarter. Totally scoreless fourth quarter. That's all I gotta say. I'm really disappointed in Denver, but obviously this is because they've lost so many of the star potential that people were so excited about in Locke and Sutton and Lindsay. So, and Von Miller, of course. So it's a rough loss. Man, they must be disappointed. I know I am, and I'm not even a Broncos fan. What are we thinking on that?
I mean, I think it was pretty obvious that going into this game, we all thought they were gonna do well this year, but sorry, 1 second. After that though, after this performance, the injury bug, like the 49ers, the injury bug is making it so they're not really can come up to their potential that they need. Yes, the 49ers had an easy game this week, but I mean, realistically, in the long run, it's going to affect them really hard. And same thing with the Broncos this year. Broncos is probably going to end up probably third in their division, maybe even less because of all these injuries. Even with just Locke, you're missing Von Miller for the whole year. Once Locke comes back, they probably at least can win a couple games and make it more competitive. But as long as Locke's not there, they're probably going to be losing unless they get like a Jets game or something like that. I don't even know their schedule.
No disagreements there? BBR?
Sort of lost my train of thought, but it was going along the lines of I mean, you're in a tough position with injuries as the Broncos. I don't know. It's rough.
Note to all: if you have a Broncos player, play them. They're versing the Jets. Play all Broncos players this week, everyone.
Yeah, this might be a game where the Broncos can pull off a nice victory.
I would like to disagree with the person giving you fantasy advice. Yes, they are playing the Jets, but you're on a short week with a non-starting quarterback. Caution, especially with your running backs playing so shit the last game.
Who has the more? Hey,
so I'm giving the opposite advice. Stay the fuck away from that game.
Hey! A question: who has more points this year?
Hey, Frost, who won between us?
Yeah, hey, we were each other this week.
I'm taking DVR's advice here, man.
Hey, when Noah Fant gives me 10 more points as a tight end, I'll take it.
Noah Fant's the only player on that team I think is going to get you points.
Yo, don't worry. I got him starting, baby. Come on.
All right, here we go.
I want 10 points again.
Here we go. Keep that energy because now it's time for the Lions at the Cardinals.
Oh.
Let me do my recap. Lions at the Cardinals. Cardinals were favored by 5. Lions won 26-23. Stafford, I'll run through it quick. I know you're dying for it. Stafford, 22 for 31, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyler Murray, on the other hand, 23 for 35, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Bad game for Kyler Murray. Adrian Pearson, 22 carries for 75 yards. Kenyon Drake, 18 carries for 73 yards. Galladay looked okay with 57 yards and a touchdown. Hopkins looked great with 10 receptions and 137 yards, no touchdowns. I'll say this: Cardinals were leading, 23 to 20 going into the fourth quarter, and Giants kicked 2 field goals, one to tie, one to win at the very end of the game. So this snaps the Lions' 11-game losing streak. There's a fun fact here. I don't remember the exact date, but every team in the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, WNBA, and MLS, every single team in all 6 of those leagues had won a game since whenever the last time the Lions won a game, except the Lions. So now they've
the Detroit Lions, baby.
Now they've broken the streak.
It's how we play.
I know Frost is dying to get in. All I'm going to say is this was a shocker for me, and I think a rough game for the Cardinals. I think they just got thrown off here. I think Murray comes back looking stronger. Those 3 interceptions are rough. That's all I got to say. All right, Frost, go ahead.
All right, so Galladay had a big day. Great return from him being injured from week 1 to week 2. Not really injured, but him just being out for week 1 to week 2. Amazing game for him to come back to. Making, I think he had a touchdown and I think it was 6. Here, 1 second. I can tell you the full box score actually. Galladay had 6 receptions with 57 yards and a touchdown, 7 targets. Great day for him. Able to prove that we can win games with him because Marvin Jones also did very well that day. Matthew Stafford looked beautiful, throwing passes left and right. Amazing. Adrian Pearson, good job running the ball, getting the clock ran down because without that, we probably would have lost or at least went to overtime, maybe tied again. And fuck that. Stafford did well. The defense came up hard this game. 3 interceptions against Kyler Murray, who was red hot after the last 2 games. I mean, yeah, they had Washington last week, but week 1 against San Francisco, that was a red hot team. Everyone projecting them just to basically wipe her ass, whip her ass. Fuck. I hear you laughing.
Projecting them to
anyway,
what? They were gonna wipe your ass.
Who was touching our asses? What?
I've never heard that one before. They're gonna wipe our ass. That's very nice.
That's a Detroit thing. You wouldn't get it.
Yeah, we're used to it. Anyway, yeah, our defense came up really well. Jamie Collins, very good this week. We should have gotten a sack on them and actually got what's called. We would have gotten we should have freaking got a safety on them actually, because there's 3 times where they were in the end zone. Defense was pretty good, lights out, and I am honestly excited for this next week about the Lions. After this win, oh baby, let the false hope engage me and just give me hope. Time to win. We go in 14-2 this year.
BBR, what's your feelings on this?
I don't know. It's nice for the Detroit secondary to show up when they're healthy.
Also, that's another thing too, is we were also missing 2 starters still going to this game, and we still beat them.
Hey, but you had 1 return and he got a pick.
Yeah. Jamie, and I am excited because Desmond Trufant is hopefully going to come back for this week, and it's going to be amazing. Once we beat the Saints, it will be the biggest curb stomp in the whole NFL. Saying, we just laid down and let us get fucked by the Packers, but we're going to kick the Saints' ass.
All right. Anything else anyone wants to say on this game?
Kyler Murray needs to fix his fucking shit. I don't know how the hell you throw 3 interceptions against the Lions, not gonna lie.
I think it's just a matter of they fucked up. He just didn't have a great game.
All I gotta say is this game's gonna come and bite them in the ass. It's going to. This is one of the games they should have honestly won. I didn't think the Lions were gonna win this. Hell, I had 14 points on the Arizona Cardinals and confidence picks. I thought Cardinals were gonna win this, but the Lions showed up and Cardinals didn't. Throwing 3 interceptions. Whoever, if you put them in fantasy, disgusting.
Bad week for Murray. All right, now it's time to talk about the next 3 games were expected to be great games, and now it's time to talk about my favorite game of the week. The Dallas Cowboys at the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks were favored by 5, and they won 38-31. But man, did it not look like it was going to be that close for a while. Dak Prescott, 37 for 57, 472 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 ins. He looked pretty great. Russell Wilson looked great as always, 27 for 40, 315 yards, 5 touchdowns. Zeke, my man, you love to hate him. 14 carries for only 34 yards and a touchdown. Not a great game for Zeke. Chris Carson had 14 carries, 64 yards. One of the many things in this game that's going to be talked about, one of the many controversial things that happened, is the gator roll tackle on Carson's
yeah,
leg.
I saw that. Yep.
It's, in my opinion, it looked like a pretty dirty tactic. What are you guys' thoughts on that one?
I looked at it. It was pretty dirty. He's not getting. Luckily, there was nothing major with whoever. I forgot who caught the ball, but
Carson.
Carson.
Oh,
Yeah,
Chris
Carson.
Carson's the one who got gator rolled. I don't know who the tackler was.
Okay, but Carson said that there was no major damage, nothing bad, pending the MRIs. But it looks like there was nothing bad with his knee. It was just a sprain, thank God. The guy who did the gator roll, though, I know he's not getting suspended, but he's getting heavily fined for that, is what I saw.
I think that makes sense. What do you think,
Kristen Hill.
Yes, I knew it was a T.
Asshole's name.
Yeah, that was just a fucking fucked play right there. And there's no reason. And you look at his momentum. There was no reason to keep rolling. He just grabbed the leg and kept going. But let's talk about another thing that I find hilarious in this game. DK Metcalf. We all saw it. All right. I mean, of course, he had a touchdown that put him in the lead in the end. But we all saw it. He bears himself or Steelers himself. I forget who did it in the first place. What he did was catch the ball if he did not see it. And he was going to run in, and then he got it punched out of his hands at like the 1, and it went out the back of the end zone, and it was a touchback. And man, was he was the butt of the jokes for the day. If they hadn't won that game, you know he'd be getting bullied the whole way back to the clubhouse and all week. On top of that, he had 4 receptions, 110 yards, 2 touchdowns. Should have been 111 yards. Or sorry, 1 touchdown. Should have been 111 yards and 2 touchdowns, but hey, you make mistakes. He's a young guy, second-year quarterback, or fucking shit, second-year wide receiver. This was a very good back-and-forth game. I mean, going into the half, they were tired. Seahawks were up 20 fucking 3. I can count. I swear to God. 23-15. Cowboys looked like they were going to come back in. Dak ends with an interception. It's unfortunate for him. Seahawks get a pretty strong win. Seattle's looking hot and unstoppable, and this is the 3rd game in a row they scored over 30 points. They got to be one of the best offenses in the league right now. And I mean, all I gotta say is, how are you gonna stop this? How are you gonna stop this offense, man? I mean, and their defense is good. I mean, notwithstanding, I mean, they got 30 points scored on them twice in a row with New England and Dallas, but those are 2 extremely good. And with Atlanta, actually, now I think about it. So, for a great defense, they have had 30 points scored on them.
Here's
all
what
3
I have
times.
to say about that. Russell Wilson is making some huge plays.
Yes.
Which means their offensive drives are short, which means their defense is on the field a lot and
that's
gets
a good
gassed.
point.
This is going to be a recurring theme all season, that as long as their offense is cooking, their defense is going to be winded.
That is a good point, and I didn't even really think about that. And it's, of course, it is true, and it's showing a little bit. But, you know, they pull off the win anyway. What are we thinking on this game, guys?
Seattle good. That's what I'm pulling out of it.
Seattle good, that's for sure. Frost, any thoughts?
Seattle probably gonna win their division.
I agree.
As expected. I mean, it was either them. We all knew it was gonna be a tough division again, but it's pretty much gonna be them now with all the injuries plaguing the West now. It'll be interesting. They probably only lose like 1 or 2 games. They might even take the first number 1 seed.
I think they're going to at this point with how well they're playing. It's got to come down to them in Green Bay, I think, at this point.
It's gonna be them Green. Yeah, I was gonna say them or Green Bay. Saints is after the last 2 weeks, it's gonna be ugly.
All right. Anyone else have anything to say on this game?
No, not particularly.
All right, then let's take a look at the Packers and the Saints. Here's the game. Now, the Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football were 2 games I expected to be phenomenal games. This one felt a little closer. Packers at the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans was favored by 3.5, and they lost. Green Bay won 37-30. New Orleans goes down to 1-2 after a loss against the Raiders last week. And as you hear my chair creak there, I'm not going to do the accent. On the Saints, I'm not hitting the panic button because we lost to the Packers. I'm not even hitting the panic button because we lost to the Raiders. I am hitting the panic button because Drew Brees refuses to throw the ball down the field. It's like he's playing scared, and as a fan, that troubles me. I am fairly certain that Brees' longest throw was 14 yards past the line of scrimmage. This defense is reminiscent of 2014-16, where we had loads of penalties and were completely garbage. The Jenkins duo has been quite bad, and 2018 looks like a distant memory. Packers are really good and deserve to win, but the Saints are very concerning. They should still be a playoff team, but screw it. I want Trevor Lawrence. Well, that is for our good old friend Jekko, who unfortunately could not be with us tonight. Hopefully will next time. A couple things I disagree with. That team is not getting Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, the Lions.
I don't care how
we're getting Trevor Lawrence.
I don't care how bad the Saints have looked in these past two games. They are not bad enough to get the number 1 overall pick.
See, that's like Lions bad right there. Like, we have a chance.
Or Jets at this point.
Yeah, but they have Sam Darnold. They're not going to want to just...
Or Eagles at this point.
No, I disagree. You know what? If the Eagles have the number 1 overall, I'm going to be killed for this one. I wouldn't even want them to take Trevor Lawrence. Because otherwise, what the fuck did we draft Jalen Hurts for? Alright, if we're going to abandon Carson, can we at least abandon Carson for a dude who we picked? Come on.
I mean... Jalen Hurts still just kind of fell in your lap in the second round. You kind of had it. Definitely with how Carson Wentz gets injured, it's kind of you need a decent.
We're talking about the Saints game. I don't want to hear it anymore about the Eagles. One thing I definitely agree with in Njeko's statement is the loads of penalties. Man, this defense has been one of the most penalized so far. Let's take a quick look at the quarterbacks. Pretty similar. Brees, 29 for 36, 28 yards, 3 touchdowns. Rodgers, 21 for 32, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns. Both their receivers look pretty good. Lazard had 6 receptions, 446 yards and touchdown. Kamara, Mr. Running Back, had 13 receptions for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns. Here's the thing. I expected the Saints to win this game, and they didn't, obviously. If you were watching the game and you had paid attention to the very end, when the Packers were on the goal line, knocking on the door, because Janoris Jenkins committed PI off of Aaron Rodgers drawing the defense into offsides, and brought the Packers to the 1. And then 1 or 2 plays later, Janoris Jenkins on the opposite side of the end zone commits PI again. More questionable. Gives them a fresh set of downs. Overall, because of how long the defense was able to survive the Packers offense, by the time the Packers offense had scored, it was already inside the 2-minute warning. That drive, they started at midfield probably around 5 minutes. So they really screwed themselves, not only with the penalties, but by being good enough to keep stopping them. Because they didn't have time. They tried. Alright? They tried the Zerloin onside kick. Alright? They did. And it did not work. It didn't even go 10 yards. So, that's the way it goes. Green Bay wins 37-30. This team is looking fucking hot as shit. This has to be, I think, number 1 scoring offense, because it's the first time they haven't scored 40 points. But they got a hell of a lot close. So, Saints looking disappointing. Packers looking great. What do we think?
Gotta agree with that. It would be even more dangerous if they had Devontae Adams.
Yeah, true. You have to consider
Alan Lazard going off. Imagine what Devontae would.
If Devontae Adams was in this game, they would have definitely scored over 40 points. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
There's no point. The Saints were actually leading at halftime, by the way, 17-13.
Oh yeah.
And they were only down by 1 going into the fourth quarter, but they got outscored 10-3 in the fourth quarter. It's bad.
I was hoping the Saints would win this, so then Green Bay would be 2-1.
But the Packers are 3-0, and definitely looking like they are competing to get back into the playoffs. It looks like they probably will.
I don't think they missed the playoffs. It's almost a lock at this point. They're on some kind of roll.
Is that me, or is that BBR. Because I just heard BBR go robot-y.
That was you, I think.
Alright, cool. You speak again, BBR?
Uh,
Alright, we're good. Alright.
The Packers definitely will make the playoffs. They're just on some otherworldly roll right now.
Yeah, pissed
Rodgers
off Aaron Rodgers, man.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers solidifying definitely top 3, probably top 2 quarterbacks in the league right now.
Yeah, I definitely severely underrated him, but damn, dude. I mean, you look at that top 3 after the Baltimore Ravens game, which we'll talk about in a second. I think it's Mahomes, Wilson, and Rodgers in some particular order.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And undeniably at this point, I can't deny it anymore. All right, let's take a look at the Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore was favored by 3.5 as a home team, and man, did they not play to that. Chiefs won 34-20. Except for a little bit there towards the end, it didn't even feel like it was going to be close. Ravens were able to pull up to. We'll talk about the mistakes that led to that in a second. Patty Mahomes was 31 for 42 with 385 yards and 4 touchdowns. Another exemplary game from Mahomes, bounced back from the not as great game he had last week. Lamar Jackson, 15 for 28, 97 yards and a touchdown. And 9 carries for 83 yards. So combined, he did not even have 200 yards. And I'll say something else. Mark Andrews, Ravens tight end, had a really bad game. A lot of drops, particularly a touchdown drop that Mark Andrews makes. He did not make this game. And it was very unfortunate watching that. I kept saying this isn't the way it's supposed to be. Chiefs were up 27-10 going into the second half. And the Ravens were able to get it back down to 27-20 because of 2 very stupid mistakes, all right? They got a field goal in the third and a touchdown in the fourth. So let me run in some plays for you here, all right? Because I loved watching this game because the Chiefs had, I forget who, some player that wasn't Mahomes, then handed it off to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who gave a little shovel pass to Patty Mahomes, who then threw it to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And so it was Edwards-Helaire to Mahomes to Edwards-Helaire. And I like that. The following play was a Sammy Watkins fumble, which resulted, and that was on the 20-yard line of the Ravens, and the Ravens marched that all the way down to get a field goal. Following that, the Chiefs on a 4th and barely 1, in midfield at like the 50, go for on 4th down, don't make it and give up a touchdown. Now at that point, when the Ravens score the touchdown, all right, they score it not too long into the 4th quarter. And they've got a lot of the 4th quarter to get back from that. And now they're only down by 1 score. So there was a lot of stuff going on in the middle, which if the Chiefs had not performed to the point they would, defense stopping the Ravens, no more scoring for the night, and Mahomes being able to throw in another touchdown pass to retake the lead. There were some bad mistakes in the middle there that could have given them a Falcons-like losing game. So as strong as a win this is for the Chiefs, I feel like it's important to remember that they made some really boneheaded play. I think they were getting a little too cocky and having a little too much fun there. I don't know if that's just me, but that's what I felt when I was watching the game. Go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, you can go.
I didn't watch this game, I'll be honest. Slept through it.
That's understandable. Monday night games are hard.
From what I gather, rough game for the Ravens. And looking at the stats here, a couple fumbles, although they only lost the one.
It was definitely a rough game for the Ravens.
Yeah.
For a team that did so well in its first 2 weeks, I think they'll bounce back from this. I'm not ready yet to walk back what I said about the Ravens being the most complete team in the league. Because while their offense is not as good as Kansas City, I do think their defense is still good, this game notwithstanding. But I am kind of getting ready to step back. I'm not ready to walk it back yet. I still think that after this week. But the Chiefs are the best, and they're proving that now, that they can come out and win this game. I'd just be worried about them getting cocky. And you didn't see it, but I think it's an important thing to keep in mind You're having fun there doing those, backyard plays there, but you gotta remember you're still playing, and you cannot uh, give up a lead like that. To be up by 17, and for them to be able to bring it down to 10, because you got a fumble followed by a midfield turnover on downs. It's just, that right there worries me a little bit. They're getting a little cocky. Frost, any thoughts on this game?
I actually watched this game, but I mean, it was back and forth in the beginning, but holy hell, that second half, it was.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't even really that back and forth in the beginning because the Chiefs were up
Yeah,
27-10 going into the
yeah,
second half.
but it gave a lot of potential for everyone thought that they were going to come back, but Baltimore just never did.
I was for certain the Ravens were coming back.
I
the
thought the
track
Ravens
they
were
were
going
on.
to come back, and yeah, I thought they were going to do very well, but guess not. It'll be interesting. Both these people still have hard schedules coming up, so.
First
The
place.
Ravens have like 3 gimmies coming up.
Ravens. Let me look. I'm pretty sure.
They have Washington, Cincinnati,
Oh
Philadelphia.
fuck. Okay, yeah, they got 3 easy games.
They're gonna pull
but then
those
they
off
don't-
pretty well.
They don't catch a break after that. The rest of
All right, so we've taken a look. It's time now to look at the upcoming games. Wow. Thursday Night Football, Broncos at the Jets. That game is even. I mean, you could not have called that going into this year. All right, Denver is favored by 1, so I'm a little bit old. It's even and it's favored by 1, depending on where you look. Yeah, spread consensus is favored by 1. Spread itself is even. So this is oh man, this is gonna be a crapshoot. This is gonna be even worse of a crapshoot, I think, than the Dolphins Jags game, because this is just, the Broncos had so much potential and they're all hurt, and then you got the Jets. I'm still picking the Broncos, but I'm not surprised if the Jets could pull off a win here, if only because of the injuries.
I'm going with the Broncos because the Broncos need to beat the Jets. The Jets, I want to go 0-16, baby. It has to happen.
This matchup here is that road collision that you don't want to see, but it's hard to look away. Denver wins this. There's no way.
If Denver can somehow lose this game, I mean...
Don't give Jets fans a glimmer of hope. Fire Adam Gase. Do what you need to do.
Yeah, if I'm a Jets fan, I'm begging for an 0-16 season at this point.
Who gets fired first? Adam Gase or Dan Quinn?
Gase. It should be Gase. At least Quinn gets his team into the position where they can give up the lead. Gase doesn't even do that.
I would always say that I would be saying Patricia, but they won last week. So Patricia,
Yeah, that kind of let them
Patricia, yeah, I kind of wanted. That's why I kind of wanted to lose. Hopefully, Patricia would have been fired mid-season, but yeah, I think we have him for the rest of the season. And if we don't at least go winning record, he's gone. Thank God.
All right.
The pencil, the boy's gone.
Colts at the Bears. Colts are favored by 2.5. How we feel about that
on the road
one?
as well, so they're not getting home points.
Yeah,
so they are definitely multi-point favorite.
I'm going Colts. I think the Nicky Foles Bears are gonna taste a little bit here of the defeat they finally should have.
They should be 0-3 right now, but.
What are you thinking, BBR?
Oh,
don't take this from us.
No, I am actually taking the Bears here for once. I'm feeling more confident than usual, and it's
I'm liking
not
it
because they came back against the Falcons. I think this is a great matchup for them going up against Phillip Rivers. I think their defensive ends are going to get into Phillip Rivers a little bit. He's going to have to get the ball out quick, which favors our secondary a lot. I'm really liking this matchup, and
he's only saying that because he's got Big Dick Nick now as his main quarterback.
No, I didn't even talk about the offense for us.
Yeah, I brought up Big Dick Nick.
I like the Bears here.
All right, nice pick. I'm not too certain on the Colts. I'm still picking them, but I'm not gonna be super surprised if the Bears win either. Jags at the Bengals. Bengals are favored by 3 as a home team, so you know what that tells me. This is an even game. I'm taking the Bengals. I think Bengals are finally gonna get a fucking win. I think Minshew Mania can only carry a team so far, and I like the Bengals this game. That's my pick.
I picked the Bengals too. Minshew Mania is finally gonna end and come down back to reality after this game.
This is so tough because I want Joe Burrow to succeed. He's looking better and better as time goes on. Oh, I don't know. I really don't. I think I gotta go Cincinnati.
All right, we're pretty even on that one.
I think on paper Jacksonville's a better team, but I think Cincinnati takes it.
Cleveland Browns at the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is favored by 4.5. I mean, I'm taking Dallas. Dallas is getting another win out of this. Cleveland proves themselves to be pretty effective, especially with that run game. But I just cannot see Dallas. Of all the thanks, Windows Defender. I appreciate that timely interruption. I can't see the Cowboys losing to the Browns, honestly. So I'm picking Cowboys.
Same here. Same everything basically. If they can maybe make this close if they use a lot of their if they run a lot, it could be closer than you would expect. But at the end, Dallas I think is the better team overall, so I'm picking Dallas.
Anyone know off the top of their heads how Dallas's run defense has been this year? Oh, they've been they're a top 10 run defense. This is a tough matchup for Cleveland. I think Dallas takes this.
All right. Saints at the Lions. I'm taking the Saints. Sorry, Frost. There's no way I think the Saints lose this game. As much as I didn't think there's any way the Saints lost the Raiders game, the Raiders are a better team than the Lions, in my opinion. And I'm gonna give this one to the Saints.
Oh, we picking Detroit Lions, baby. We gotta let the pressure consume me. We going 14-2. It starts here.
That's a shocker. 14-2. BBR.
I would like to think the Saints win this. Something's wrong if they don't. I'll just say that.
I agree. All right, Steelers and Titans. If it happens, 2-3-0 teams. I'm gonna take the Titans. This game, by the way, does not have a spread. Yes, it does. Steelers are favored by 2.5 as an away team. That's the spread. A consensus pick. It still does not have a spread.
That's because of the uncertainty of it.
Yeah. There's no spread, no money line, no over/under. But the consensus pick is Pittsburgh 2.5. I'm gonna pick Tennessee. I think Tennessee's gonna do well. I really like Tennessee this year. And I'm gonna pick them to win this game. I think the Steelers are facing a good team here, and I think Tennessee can pull off a home win.
Oh, you already know I'm picking the frickin' Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh is going to win not very easily, but it'll be an interesting game, to be honest. But with what we've seen between the two teams, yeah, I'm taking the Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta agree with Frost here. Sorry, Reggie.
That's all right.
I mean, Tennessee is.
I'll be the outlier.
I should say Ryan Tannehill has come out not impressive looking, and that's you need him to be on his game because Derrick Henry can't do it all.
All I gotta say is, when you're paying a man that much money to be a quarterback for you, he needs to be putting up decent numbers.
I like Tannehill. I think he's gonna do fine.
He's serviceable, but
how much are they paying him?
It was like I think it was a lot. Yeah, they
wasn't it like 118 4-year deal or something?
Yep.
Or am I thinking of Captain Kirk?
I'll look it up right now.
I'm not certain off the top of my head. In the interim, for those who don't know, the reason is because several Titans players, like we discussed in the beginning, have tested positive for COVID. So it is looking like it's possible this game could end up being delayed by some point. So that's why I said if it happens.
You are correct. 4-118.
It's
118. Wow, I had it on the button.
Yeah, it's 118 mil, 62 guaranteed.
All right. Seahawks at the Dolphins. I mean Seahawks. Seahawks favored by 6.5. Seahawks. I can't believe they're only favored by 6.5.
Yeah,
are you
how
kidding
is
me?
that line
Are
not
you
further?
fucking kidding me? We're gonna go over some lines later, but the Seahawks are only favored by 6.5. That took a second to sink in there. What the fuck is that?
You guys are better. Get it at that line.
The Seahawks should be favored by 11 in this game. I'm picking the Seahawks. Anyone picking the Dolphins?
I doubt it.
I picked the Dolphins. I'm the outlier, boy.
No, he doesn't.
I'm changing your
I'm
confidence.
picking Seattle. I can't. No, I haven't submitted my confidence, guy.
I think it's impossible to bet against Seattle this week. This is just a not good team against one of the best teams in the league.
Just wait. They'll pull something out of their fucking ass to get a win here.
Chargers at the Buccaneers. Tampa Bay's favored by 7. And I'm going to agree with it. It's going to be my pick. I think Tampa Bay wins this game.
I see this as the opposite of last game. Don't bet at this line. This line's much further. I think this will be an actually decently close game.
I could see it being closer.
Remember, the Chargers had a -4 turnover differential the last game. That's what lost them majority of the game. Not that they played too poorly otherwise.
Yeah, they can get a handle on that. But Tampa's looking good.
I still think Tampa wins.
I go Tampa.
All right, now we're looking at a line that makes sense. Ravens at Washington. Baltimore is an away team is favored by 13 points. Now that makes sense. This game should be a good bounce back game for the Ravens. I think they win this game pretty handily. I picked the Ravens on the points. What do you think?
I pick Ravens.
At 13 points, that's extreme. You look at some like games you would expect to be blowouts. Sometimes it's about 13 points. I would be super careful betting on that line. Obviously, the Ravens win this though. I don't know if they cover 13.
I'm gonna go out here and say I think they definitely do. That's just how much I think about Washington, of course, but that's me. I don't bet anyway, so there we go. Cardinals at the Panthers. Cardinals are favored by 3.5. I think again we got a bounce back game. Panthers looking a little better, but I think Cardinals are gonna keep looking hot. I'm gonna take the Cardinals.
I think Cardinals as well.
I will probably never pick the Panthers without CMC. Definitely picking Cardinals.
All right, Vikings at the Texans. Wow, no line. Hold on, no instant line.
So
I see it. Houston's favored by 4.5.
The thing you missed with the Tennessee situation is they just played the Vikings, who also closed the facility.
I did miss to say that. So that's why there's no line.
Yeah.
So again, if it happens, Houston's favored by 4.5. These are both teams that people wanted to see good stuff out of, and they just have not performed. I don't even know who to pick here, honestly.
I'm picking Houston.
I'm gonna take Minnesota.
I am also taking Houston.
All right, I'm the outlier again. God damn. I want to say Minnesota, but
I mean they looked decent last game. Well, decent enough.
I scored 30 points.
Yep.
And there were six drives where they only gave a field goal. So, all right, Giants and the Rams. Rams. Oh my God. Rams as a home team are favored by 12.
Yeah.
But I agree with this one because I think the Giants are even worse than Washington because they don't even have a good D line to focus on. They don't have Saquon. Giants are just gonna be a shade team this year.
Devontae Freeman though.
I'm giving it to the Rams. I'd probably take the points in this one as well. The Rams have been a pretty good team. The Giants have not. I take the Rams.
I take the Rams. I
take the Rams. Who is running the ball effectively? Because I can't imagine seeing anyone that will.
Patriots at the Chiefs. This will be a good matchup, but not really, because I think the Chiefs are favored by 7, and I think the Chiefs should win this game. If they play like they played last week, they should win this game. If they play like they played in LA, Patriots might look a little better, but I think the Chiefs should win this game.
Oh yeah, they should. Yeah.
7 might be a high spread.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be 7. I think it's going to be close. But if the Patriots win this game, it will change everything about the AFC.
It really will.
Like, it will put them back at dominance of number 1.
BBR, what do you think?
I mean, you got to give it to the Chiefs because of one reason and one reason only. You had Mahomes line up under center, take the snap, fire it downfield for the touchdown. He and his fiance expecting a baby, dad power coming out. Mahomes 8 touchdowns this week.
Oh my God,
that's true.
8 touchdowns. Yeah, I swear to God, if I lose to Patrick Mahomes, I swear to God, I'm blaming you, BBR.
I don't have Mahomes. So
I know, but I swear to God, if I ever lose to it,
he's got that dad power, man. Bills at the Raiders. We got to rush here. I got to get going. Bills at the Raiders. Bills are favored by 3. I'm taking the Bills.
Bills,
but kind of scary, but Bills.
I'd be a little scared right now. Eagles at the 49ers, Sunday Night Football. 49ers are favored by 7. I'm taking the Birds. Fight me.
I'm taking the Eagles too, actually.
Really?
I'm trying to figure out how the hell this is a primetime game. I'm taking the Niners.
Yeah, I don't see. I'm expecting to lose, but I'm gonna pick them anyway because I think it's humanly possible. But we don't have a lot of our team. I think it's humanly possible. All right, that's just me. Monday Night Football, Falcons for the Packers. Packers favored by 7.5. I take the Packers. I easily take the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, no stopping him.
I'd probably say Packers, but if Julio plays, I don't know. It should be pretty competitive.
Hey, I just need Calvin Ridley to get 3 touchdowns. I win this week.
All right, I'm gonna do it for us a chance. Thank you all for watching. We're gonna see you next time. Bye.